Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see you twerking. Look how cute he is. He just looks, he looks so funny. I'm finding this way too funny. Oh, okay, wait, I might have to put it back. He's giving me such a sad stare. Behaviour. You've just got Duke's butt in the Come on, don't you come? Okay. Can you scoot your boot? Over. Over. There we go. I was about to sit down then, Mickey, and you just took the chair from under me. Okay, I've got my Duke to my left. I've got my Mickey to my right. Mickey hopefully isn't gonna knock my chair over. Okay. Hello everybody, this is me and welcome back to Stable Talk. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about your guys' equestrian pet peeves. But before we go into that, Mickey is giving me an absolute look attack. I thought I would say what next episode is going to be. So if you'd like a shout out, if you'd like to be mentioned in the next video, then be sure to comment down below. You also have to be subscribed to the channel because I'm going to be reading out my subscribers ones. It's really easy to do. All you need is a Google account and then you're ready to go. But anyway, for the next episode, it is going to be your favourite equestrian moments. Now, this is a really broad subject. I know a lot of people are probably going to comment their show jumping wins, dressage shows, all that kind of stuff. But this could be absolutely anything. So for me, one of my favourite equestrian moments was when Casper and I finally clicked with his right hand canter. This is something that Casper really struggled with when I first got him. He was a very young, under-muscled horse and he really struggled. Every time I asked for canter right, he'd be disunited. And this is actually how I kind of got into YouTube a little bit, because I would film our progress and I'd also film it so then I'd be able to feel and see what it felt like when he was disunited compared to when he got his correct canter lead. So when we finally got it, that was definitely a really big equestrian milestone for us, and I look back at it now and I'm just like, oh my goodness, we've come so far. But also other equestrian sort of favourite moments could be, I'm really lucky with my channel. I've been able to do a lot of travel and ride a lot of horses in different countries, and one of my favourite moments definitely has to be riding Icelandic horses across the lava fields. I was going to say just going as fast as they could, the wind in their mane. It was just such a surreal experience and something that I'll treasure for the rest of my life. So that's definitely one of my favourite equestrian moments. So I would love to hear your guys', so be sure to comment them down below. But anyway, let's get into your guys' equestrian pet peeves. Alright, so there were over 1,000 of you that commented your equestrian pet peeves. So this must be a topic that you guys are very passionate about. So I want to say thank you so much to everybody who commented theirs down below. Unfortunately, I can't fit 1,000 into one video. However, I did read every single one of them. It took a long time, so thank you. In some ways, not so much others, because it took a long time, but no, I really do appreciate all the comments. So in no particular order, this one made me laugh so much. This is from somebody whose account is called Ponytails, and they just said one thing, and that's gaits. I feel like equestrian gaits, they're all different, and I feel like we have a few of them that when we have people around and things, you have to almost give them a whole instruction manual just to be able to open and close the gate. We have some of them and it's like, oh, you just have to pull a little bit on this lever and lift it up a little bit because it's not quite on the hinge correct. We have a few that are getting a little old and rusty now. Also, when you are riding somewhere, especially a bridle path, and they don't have the gates that have the really long bit that horse riders can hold on to, and you have to get off your horse and then open the gate and then get through, that annoys me sometimes. It's it's a bridle path. There should be easier gates than this. It's easy when I'm on Casper because I can literally just jump off him and kind of vault back on, but Joey, it's a little bit more difficult. Also, when people leave gates open and horses escape, I'm looking at a certain family member for that one. That definitely has happened a few times. Okay, on to the next one, I feel like I could talk about all these different topics for days, but I won't be rambling too much. Okay, so this one is from Thomas Pagey Pig Jr. My equestrian pet peeve is when horses don't pick up their tail when they go to the toilet and poo gets covered all over the tail and it's such a pain to clean. I'm looking at this boy here. It doesn't look like it. I washed his tail before today's video. I've tried everything. Like, I know there's tail bags that you can get, but I feel like 24/7 Mickey living his life probably doesn't want a tail bag on. You can use them for like shows and things and special occasions. Joey is definitely a horse that likes to poo in his tail, especially in the horse box. I think he just doesn't lift it up high enough. So I'll always arrive somewhere. For example, I had a show jumping lesson the other day at a very professional international show jumping yard, and Joey had poo all in his tail from the horse box, and I arrived there and I was like, oh my goodness. I want to look somewhat professional today, Joey, and yeah. Luckily I managed to get most of it out, but this boy here is the biggest culprit. People who own bays and chestnuts, you do not know how lucky you are, because the grey life, I don't know how I have 4. Each time I have a grey horse, I'm like, never again. And then I fall in love with their personality. As you can see, all of my horses have very big personalities, especially this one. To be honest, with Duke, he's so small, I was like, he can't be that difficult to clean. There's not much of him to clean. I think he's fallen asleep actually, so I'll try not to be too loud and excited. But, you have any little snooze? Mickey is just Mickey, what are you doing? I've got the mic on the back here, and I think he's found it and has decided to lick the mic box. So maybe that tastes somewhat interesting. Okay, so a lot of people mentioned this next one. Here are a few. Walking away. Oh, this is going well. You've woken Duke up. Michael, I have no treats. No. I'm going to move forward a bit because you're in too much of a licky mood. You are. You can lick my hand, but not the mic box. Alright guys, we're back after a few technical difficulties. Mickey decided to lick the mic box so hard that he knocked it off, and then we had no sound, but we're now back. Okay, as I was saying before, this next one a lot of people mentioned. So here are a few names. I'm really sorry if your name isn't here. So we have Horse Girl, we have Sophie, we have Betty May's Backyard Farm, we have Megan, and all of their pet peeves, which I feel like every equestrian has, is that when people say horse riding isn't a sport, and I feel like some people just say this to wind equestrians up, because in our hearts, oh my goodness, Mickey, he is so licky. I'm gonna have to move forward. I'm sorry, Mickey. You've had too much licking today. Okay, I'm gonna sit here next to cute, sleepy Duke. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people say this to equestrians just to wind them up, and I feel like we all know the horse riding is a sport, like that, it just is. It's in the Olympics, it's physical activity, you have to have strategy, you can do it as an individual, or you can do it in a team. Like, obviously there are like lots of different equestrian disciplines that some like are different compared to others, but, you know, show jumping, eventing and dressage, they're all in the Olympics. You know, there's also all the FEI sports, and I've been lucky enough to be able to work and film with quite a few like Olympians, and I know from working with the FEI and visiting lots of different horse shows every weekend that these riders work very hard. Like, a lot of them go to the gym every day because, you know, physical strength. They have like diet plans, nutritionists, physios, everything that all other professional athletes have, and the horses have that as well. They're so well looked after. And I found it hard enough, you know, physically, just like going from show to show, filming, carrying all the camera equipment. I can't imagine what it must be like going to like a different country almost every week with a horse and like all your tack and everything like that. Like, that's a lot. I personally wouldn't want to do, that's too much. Oh my goodness, Mickey, he's just gone and had a drink and has got the wettest, slobberiest mouth and has just started, okay, you can lick Duke. I've had enough of the licks today. You can lick Duke instead, yeah. Do you want to move over and then you can go, okay, he's back to my coat. I don't know what it is, there are some coats like this that Mickey, it's like his favourite thing to lick. I don't know if it's the texture, but you can already see all the slobber marks. But yeah, I could talk about this all day, but horse riding it's definitely a sport. Also, can we just talk about how amazing it is that horse riding is like the only sport in the world where men and women compete equally against each other? Like how cool is that? It's awesome. All right, so again, this next pet peeve was mentioned by a few people, but the main comments that I saw that popped up was from Kelly and also from Anya, and that is that their pet peeve is when you put down a fresh bed of shavings and your horse decides to go in there and poo straight away. Mickey did this. You know, he hasn't got fresh shavings today, I need to put those in later, but I have freshly mucked out his stable, removed all the wee and everything like I usually do each day, and when I put Mickey in the stable, he went and pooed in there. So, while I was setting up the cameras, so, you know, I guess they're horses, you know, when they gotta go, but it always just seems like the worst possible timing. For example, Joey, every single time I ride him in the arena, it's the first lap going around when I'm warming up him, just walking around, he will always poo. Every single time. And then for the rest of the session, I'll be riding around and there's this poo that I either have to decide to just commit and like ride through it, or I have to sort of dodge around it. And what's even worse, I have a lesson at my instructor's yard. She lives like a mile away, so I'll hack there as kind of like our warm up and then I'll have my lesson there. He will save his poo. He will carry it with him all the way till we get to her yard. Again, first lap, as soon as I enter that arena, he poos. It's like he could have just done it on the road. It's just so unnecessary. I think he does it on purpose. And Mickey's just done a wee as I'm talking. They're animals, they're horses, you know. I can't be too angry at them, but it is funny. It is funny. And just as I said, yeah, Mickey's decided to go for a wee while we're filming in the middle of a video. Hopefully, you know, I'm blocking out his private parts to give him a bit of modesty. So at least, you know, the world won't be looking at his little Mickey. Okay. Mickey, you coming back? You okay? He's just trying to find food in his shavings, which there's not. There might be like a tiny bit of haylage. What are we even talking about? Oh yeah, pooing in stables. Yeah, of course that's what we were talking about. But yeah, and also Joey wheezes every time he goes in his stable. I feel like I should probably teach him. There was one horse, when I was looking to find Casper, there was one horse that I saw, and like part of their ad was that they could wee on command. Like you'd put a bucket underneath and they could wee on command. I felt like I could maybe teach that to Joey, just because he always wheezes at the same time, and that's when he first goes in his stable. So you never know. I feel like he wouldn't enjoy having a bucket under him. Anyway, on to the next one. So this next pet peeve is from Morag, and their pet peeve is when you get hay, straw or shavings stuck in your boot and you shake it out, but there's still that one really itchy piece that won't come out. Now, I feel like just in general, straw, shavings, whatever, it always gets in places where you don't want it. It's a bit like when you go to the beach. For the next sort of 2 weeks, you'll just find sand in weird places. And I feel like that's definitely what happens with shavings, especially the really small ones. But I know what you mean when you get it stuck in your boot and then when you're walking around, you can feel it and it really bugs you. And then you take it off and then you try and brush them all out. But then there's always that one bit that gets stuck, or it's like even worse if it's inside your sock, because then you have to take your sock off. And then if you're unbalanced, you can put your barefoot in some mud. I don't know, it's always just such a hassle. Also, the worst is when you have hay and there's always like a bit of thistle in the hay, and sometimes you can get that in your boot and there'll be like a little spike from the thistle and it will spike you and it's horrible, and then you have to like try and find it somewhere in the sock, and then you like walk and you put your foot down and like, oh, is it going to be spiky? And you're like, ooh, and then you realise that it's not spiky and it's all good. Okay, I feel like a few people will totally understand what I mean by that, because it is very unpleasant. Oh, we have a Duke back. We have a Duke. Yay. But yeah, the worst is when you come into the house after doing the horses and then you just kind of leave a trail of shavings behind you because, yeah, especially on your socks. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, put my socks in the washing basket, then hopefully I won't leave such a mess. But there'll always be a bit of hay in my hair or something. Okay, this is one I can really relate to. So this is from Horse Dog Cross Country. My pet peeve is when my horse literally looks at me and rolls in the dirtiest puddle of mud when I've just washed him. Well, that's Gray's right. Yeah, I feel like it's just something programmed into their DNA that when they're wet, especially after a bath, that rolling is the best thing. Like even my boys, after I've groomed them, ridden them, even put their rugs back on, it's like the first thing they do, especially Joey. Like he will find the muddiest patch. Sometimes he just goes down straight away in the doorway, and I'm like, mate, that is not the softest patch that you could roll in. There's like stones and things by the gateway. I don't know why or how he does it, but it's, yeah, you better wrap them up. You know, if you've just bathed them, put a rug on with like a long neck attachment. Obviously, depends on the time of year because you don't want them to overheat. No. But yeah, that's my best advice. Also, if you wash them and you put like baby oil on their legs, it causes like an oil barrier. So then the next time when it comes to brushing them off, the mud actually brushes off a lot easier because there is sort of that barrier in between. But that's my best advice. If not, just don't go for a grey. It's years of suffering of cleaning. If you don't like grooming your horse, greys are not for you. Okay, this one is from Stephanie and she says, mine is when you wash a horse and it's so much taller than you are and the water gets on your shirt and makes it look like you've been sweating loads. Well, if I'm honest, in the summer I usually do sweat loads, even in the winter actually. I feel like I've talked about this one too many times on my channel, but I will take my helmet off and it'll still be sweaty on the inside after I've ridden, even in the winter on the coldest of days. Shows that horse riding is a sport and definitely physical exercise, but anyway, no. Yeah, in the summer it's actually kind of nice because you'll be washing a horse off and then you get cooled down, so I don't actually mind that too much. I guess I'm on a yard at home, so not many people will be seeing me looking like I've sweated loads. The worst is this guy or Joey, actually no, Joey's the worst with this. He will drink his water and then he'll come over and say hi, and he'll still have the water left in his mouth, and then he'll just release it all, and you'll get water all over you. And the worst time was when I had like the farrier coming, and he did that to me, and it went all down my legs, and it looked like I'd peed myself, which was not a good look. And when I was like, I'm sorry, Joey slobbered all down me, and my farrier was like, yeah, sure he did, Esme. And I was like, oh no. That's one for the embarrassing equestrian stories, you know. I completely forgot about that. I think I just repressed that into my memory, and now I've just confessed it to everybody. But yeah, it's not the nicest. All right, so this next one is one that I personally can't relate to, but I feel like a lot of Western riders will, because so many of you guys that are Western riders commented this. So let me know in the comments below if you're a Western rider and if you relate to this or not. So this comment that I picked was mentioned by Victoria. And she says, I ride Western and I see a lot of other Western riders that have a loose back cinch and it drives me nuts. Western saddles are designed to have two cinches, one at the front and one at the back, to help distribute the weight of the saddle over the horse's back and avoid it from rocking. It's extremely necessary for those of us that ride in rough, mounty, country terrains and those of us who raise cattle. The back cinch is supposed to be snug at the belly, and now a lot more of a fashion item, loose hanging and potential disaster. Okay, so I can't really comment much on this because I'm not a Western rider, and if I'm honest, only a few years ago I knew what a cinch was, because I'm an English rider in the UK. Pretty much everyone rides English. There are very few Western riders. It's definitely something that I've wanted to do for ages, and when I was able to ride Western for the first time back in 2019, it was definitely a dream come true for me. But oh my goodness, Western riders, your guys' tack is so confusing. Like, I'm so used to just like a normal saddle, And then there's all these different straps, compartments, there's like a horn at the front. Obviously they all have a use, as the comment said, but I felt very out of my depth when I went Western riding in the US, because I arrived and she was like, oh, do you know how to tack up? And I was like, oh yeah, and then I realised, wait, I've never tacked up a Western horse before, so I needed a bit of help. I asked what all the different parts were, because I love learning new things like that. And yeah, if somebody said, Esme, here's a horse, tack it up Western, there might be a few bits I might need a little bit of help with. But no, I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a little iCard to it because it was incredible. But yeah, Western tack, I am not very well educated on. This next one is from Amelia Equine, and they say, my pet peeve is when water buckets are dirty and have haylage or hay in. Now, Joey does this on purpose. I've mentioned this before in like my Instagram story or something, but what Joey will do is he purposefully takes the haylage out of his hay net or haylage net and goes around and dunks it in his water and then eats it out of his water bucket. And I was talking to his previous owner about this, and she was like, yep, it's something he's just always done. Like, it's so weird. He is the messiest eater as well. So there'll be haylage everywhere. Also, if he comes and pokes his head over his stable door and is eating his haylage, there will be loads that will just fall out of his mouth. And at the bottom of his stable door, there is so much haylage that he just wastes that goes down there that I usually kind of just feed over to the other horses, if I'm being honest, because don't want to waste any. But Joey definitely does. I don't know why, I don't know how, but he's just a very, very messy eater. A lot of people also mentioned when horses poo in their water bucket. Joey had a phase when we first got him. For like 3 weeks, every single day he'd poo in his water, so much so that I actually left a spare bucket of water out, so he had 2. So, and once he did a double whammy, he pooed in both of them, and I was like, mate, I'm trying to make sure that you don't dehydrate, and you just go and do that. That is horses for you. But no, it can be annoying, especially when you have to clean them out and you kind of have to like put your hand in, especially in the winter when it's all cold and wet, and then your fingers go all numb because they're all cold and you have to like take out all this gross haylage or hay. Yeah, that is not the funnest, no. So this next one is from Vendetta, and their pet peeve is when a horse steps on your toe and they just stand there like nothing's going on. And meanwhile, you're there struggling to move and in lots of pain. I, touch wood, have been very lucky when it comes to this. Almost every time a horse has stepped on my toe, because this is really weird, I'm a size 5.5, so I usually wear size 6 shoes or boots because not many people do half sizes. I'm kind of like a 5 3/4. So there's always like a tiny little bit of room at the top of my boots, especially my winter boots, because I like to wear really fluffy socks with them, so they fit. But anyway, is he literally rubbing his butt against his stable as I talk? Okay, this is a new pet peeve I have. Mickey, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see you twerking. No. Anyway, yes, when a horse steps on you, luckily there's always like a little bit. So I kind of scrunch my toes in. I don't know why, maybe it's reflexes, but I feel like I always kind of know just before. So I scrunch my toes in and they usually just step on my boot rather than my toes. So that's what, also around the yard, I do have some steel toe cap boots that are really good. I know that, I'm pretty sure Ariat do some paddock boots that are steel toe cap, they're really good. So if you guys want to be safe around the yard, that is definitely one of those things where you do not want to be wearing like flip-flops or open-toed shoes, because I can imagine the bruising. I think my mum once, she was just wearing wellies and I think Bruno stepped on her toe, and donkeys are small, but they are heavy, and especially because they have tiny, tiny little hooves, that is a lot of force, and I think she broke a toe when Bruno stepped on her, so you got to be careful around horses, guys. But no, there have been times where Mickey has done that, and he's just standing there, and you're like trying to like push them off while struggling not to move with your toe slowly being crushed. I'm like, Mickey, move! And then they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't realise. Okay. This one's a little bit of a silly one. I feel like some people hate this. I find it funny. Other people, I know that they can absolutely hate this, but that is, my pet peeve is this is from Summer, by the way, and she says, my pet peeve is when people split their horse's forelock in half to make it look like curtain bangs or like a fringe. And she also says, I love your videos. I met you at Blenheim and Hoy's. Oh, it was lovely to meet you. Thanks for coming. So this one I find hilarious because Casper gets it every single time once I've galloped him. And there have been photos of him where, like, I think of it as like a go faster thing. Like, he goes so fast that the wind is blowing back his forelock. And I know, like, it can look really ridiculous, and some people do that on purpose just to make it look funny. Like, should I do it to Mickey now? Oh, he's having a scratch. He's having a scratch. Mickey has the most pathetic forelock. It's very small and tiny. I feel like it would be better to do with Duke, actually, but he's gone... Oh, do you not like it? Do you not... Mickey, what has got into you? You've gone into dragon mode. Duke, why don't we get Duke? Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Okay. All right, we have Duke back. I'm gonna try and do it with him. Let's hope he doesn't mind too much. He has the thickest forelock, I feel like this is gonna be the best horse to do it with. Look at him. Like, it just makes me laugh. It doesn't make me angry or upset or annoyed. I guess maybe if you were doing like a photo shoot and it kept doing that, it would be a bit annoying. But I just find it hilarious. Like, look how cute he is. He looks so funny. Duke, no, he has a massive, I've just realised how massive his forehead is. You have such a cute forehead. I love it, Duke. Look, he looks like such a baby. Oh my gosh, wait, Duke, I really want to plait his forelock and do like a little unicorn horn. Wait. Look. Duke the unicorn. Okay, he's really fed up with me now. But look, that's what he'd be like without a forelock. He's like a little superstar with his hair pulled back. Oh yeah, it's Elvis Presley. Or Jedward. That's what you look like. Back in the day when all the boys like put their hair back like that and wanted quiffs. Okay. That's what Duke's gonna be looking like for the rest of this video. If that annoys you, let me know, but I'm finding this way too funny. Oh, okay, wait, I might have to put it back. He's giving me such a sad stare. He's just so fed up with life. Okay, I'm not that mean. I'll put it back. You're so cute. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry I laughed at you, Duke, but it's because you're so cute. Yes. Okay, on to the next one. I feel like that one just made me laugh. So this next one is from Lucinda, and she says that her pet peeve is when people judge your riding ability on how high you jump. And I feel like this is so true because there are dressage riders out here, and they don't even jump. That's not their job. There are people out there that do other equestrian disciplines, such as mounted games. That doesn't involve how high they jump. I guess like some people be like, okay, what if you're judging eventers or show jumpers? Now I feel like with horse riding, everyone has a totally different journey, and this is something that we all experience. A lot of people compare, especially when they're younger, compare with other people their own age, how high they're jumping, but everyone has a different equestrian story. Back when I was at Pony Club, did I have the most expensive flashy pony? No. Did I have my own arena at the time that had floodlights that I could ride every single day with? No. Did I have horsey parents that would school my pony for me so it would be beautiful and easy for me? No, I did not have the easiest ponies, and although that has meant that I haven't been able to jump as high in my equestrian career so far, it has made me so much of a better rider because I've had all of those times where I've made mistakes in the past. The horse hasn't helped me out, I've had to help it out. And I've learned so much. And also, I know how to sit bucks. Okay, maybe not all the time because we all still fall off at times. But it has made me a lot more confident rider. If it wasn't for all the tricky times that I had with Casper, I would have found it so much harder moving on to Joey as a young horse, who can sometimes be a little excited and spicy at times, but no, he's such a good boy. Also, financial reasons. A lot of people don't move up their equestrian journey, or some move up faster than others because they have the money to spend on lessons all the time, or going and training with the best riders, or having the best ponies. And I think it's important to just appreciate what you have. For example, I remember being really young and a lot of my friends at school rode horses, and I just remember being so excited and feeling so lucky that I could even have lessons. Then when I got my first loan pony, I remember being so grateful and lucky to be able to have a loan pony. Although loads of my friends had horses of their own, I remember what it was like to not even have lessons. So I think it's important to remember that and just be grateful for what you have. Jumping, one of my best friends, she is such an incredible rider, and she has never owned her own horse, but if I had to list off some of the best riders that I know that are my close friends, she's definitely one of them. She's loaned a lot of ponies over the years, and she's ridden a lot of horses for people. You could get her to sit on any horse. I know that she was on this ex-racer 4-year-old or 5-year-old thoroughbred, took it cross country for the first time, and she was just absolutely fearless because she's ridden so many not the easiest ponies or horses in her lifetime, and I'd say she's a better rider than somebody who can go out and sit on a horse that's ready-made and jump a decent-ish height course. So every equestrian journey is different. No way is better than the other. If I had the chance to have had really nice ponies when I was younger, I would definitely take that. But no, it has made me... Sorry, I've really gone off on a tangent here, but yeah, the height, it doesn't matter. My instructor would always say to me, a cow can jump a 6-bar fence. It's not the thing that the horse does is jump the jump. It doesn't really matter the height of the jump, it's the rider that gets the horse to the jump and makes sure that it's in a good enough canter, if it gets the stride to the jump and all that kind of thing. So it's in between the jumps that matter, not the jump. But yeah, we're all equestrians, we're all in sort of this lovely community together, and one of my pet peeves is when people are horrible to beginners, because you were once a beginner, even if you were 4 at the time because your parents are horsey and gave you lessons at a young age. It doesn't matter what age you start riding at. I know a lot of people that have started riding in their teens, in their 20s, even some people in their 40s, 50s, 60s have started riding and taken it up as a hobby. When you do new things, you're gonna struggle and things are gonna be difficult, but it's so rewarding seeing the progress and seeing how far you've come. And I've tried lots of new sports and things over the years, and I bet if a professional person looked at me doing bouldering, that's something I've enjoyed recently. So it's like rock climbing, but you don't go as high, it's more about the technicality and you're not strapped into a harness. I really enjoy doing that, but if a professional or someone that's been doing it for years watched me do it, they'd probably be like, oh, she's doing so many things wrong. But at the end of the day, if we're doing something new, we're learning, we're gonna make mistakes, and yeah, that's my little take on it. Okay, and we'll go for a fun one at the end. This one is from Sarah, and her pet peeve is walking across a muddy field and your boot gets stuck, and then there's just this abandoned boot. Oh my goodness, this has happened to me far too many times. It's always the worst when it's the boggiest muddy field, you have to go and get your horse, and then the suction, it just sucks your boot off. And then you're there on one foot trying to not get your sock foot in the mud, trying to somehow retrieve the boot on one leg. It is just it's not easy, and we're only in October, it's almost November now, and it's already so muddy. Mickey, no, he's doing it again. You must have an itch there or something, because Mickey, can you not wait until the end of the video? Mickey. By the way, Mickey doesn't have worms. He has been wormed recently and had a worm egg count. He just has really sensitive skin, being cremello, and that is his favourite scratchy spot. So anyway, guys, I think on that note, Thanks, Mickey. We're going to end today's video here. Again, be sure to comment down below your favourite equestrian moments. I'd love to read them. Also, let me know if you want to shout out or what your name is, that kind of thing, so I can mention you guys. And yeah, please subscribe. It really does help me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Juki, what are you doing up here? What are you doing up here with the camera? Yes. Do you want to say hi? Hi. You want to say hi to the camera? Or are you just going to chill there? Yes.